Hi, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lieta, and we have a series called Every Letter is a Different Aesthetic. We will build a tiny house shaped like the letter D in a popular style today. I've seen Dr. Ashley do a series revolving around alphabet, and this is what I created so far. Basically, the shell of the house is in the shape of a letter, in which I am not allowed to move the existing walls, just make new ones inside to separate the rooms. The layout will look like this. Then I assign an interior design or aesthetic to each house, starting with the same letter as the one we are working on. I felt like I have no other options in the case of the letter D. In the past years, the dark academia style got trending in interior design and clothing as well. So I have to try it myself. These are the key characteristics. We will need a lot of bookshelves and antique items like a typewriter, telescope, chess table, paneling on the walls and doors, floral wallpaper, leather furniture, as well as a gallery wall and dim lighting by candles on the walls. I like to start with kitchens, and for this style, the older base game counters will be perfect. The countertops are dark stone, the doors are molded dark wood. What else could I ask for? I try to find matching appliances from the base game and add different cabinets above. We have to have parquet on the floor, and I feel like this wallpaper gives the impression of a classic kitchen for an intellectual theme. I wanted to try to incorporate brass or copper, but it seems out of place next to the silver stove and handles. I will change the color, but first I just noticed that I accidentally chose the opposite end piece. I would like to have the entryway here, so you first walk into the kitchen, and we have medium height for walls, because the paneling looks better on taller walls, but it's more practical to have short windows in the kitchen. A rug will be nice. I don't like any of these. Actually, the Astro one is pretty and it's fitting the theme, but I wouldn't use it in the kitchen. Maybe in another room. I'm obviously struggling, so let me take care of the lighting instead. There should be candles on the walls, right? I will use these all over the place. The decor should be very intentional, antique and bookwormy. If we elevate the dining room by one click, it will be less flat, but you won't need stairs. For the walls here, I was thinking about a classical base game wallpaper with paneling, something beige on purpose. Dark academia is often depicted with tall windows, one more reason to have taller walls, but we will cover them with fancy curtains later, so the room will look more moody. These curtains from the vampire pack will elevate the space and make the room look more luxurious. The most antique looking chess table, paired with some academic leather chairs, an ideal combo to fill up the space. To spice it up, I will add this beautiful full-length craved mirror, and the free space on this side screams for a gallery wall. I tried to collect the Renaissance-looking pieces along with old portraits. These already form a gallery wall, so there's less adding to it. The remaining rooms will get a different type of parquet, the simpler diagonal one. I love how the wood color is the same, it's rare in The Sims 4. Finally, some golden accents. I prefer smaller windows in the bathroom. There will be a toilet in front of one of them, and the bathtub right in between. We will continue with the theme with a golden mirror and details like the towel holder. Now the bedroom. We don't have a bold floral wallpaper yet, nor built-in bookshelves, so it's about time. I want to have a fancy bed, so this is the fanciest of them all. I try to make the whole house as consistent as possible, that's why I repeat the curtains, for example. I hope that this is how wingback chair looks like, because it's the first time I heard the name. A massive classic door and the fireplace indicates a higher social status of the person living here. And I learned that putting a horizontal mirror above the fireplace was a common practice in the past, since it reflected the light from the candles in front of it. Before adding all the details, we have one room left, and it will be accessible via a secret door from the dining room. The dark academia aesthetic would be incomplete without a study. It will be full of books. I had to shrink the bookcases. With a heavy desk in the center, a massive leather office chair, a large painting on the wall. I will show you all the details in the house tour. Before we continue, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you! We still need some work on the outside. When I think about dark academia, I imagine tall buildings with a lot of stairs. That's why I raised the whole house up, and the deck will be great for the telescope. A dark brick will be lovely, and I want to put a roof over the front porch, and these get-together columns will support it. I like to use them as decorations on the edges of buildings sometimes. The heavier trim is appropriate in this case, and I'm adding a taller half wall because of the illusion of height that we are creating. I will add some ivy on the walls, some greenery, a terrain paint, and I will see you in a second. This is the finished product. I like the exterior too. A portrait is greeting us in the kitchen. I decided to give them this rug at the end. It's more muted. One step up and we have the dining room with a small globe as a centerpiece. Let's check the room behind the secret door. It's the study with a nice painting and some other antique items. I tried this mirror and it's not functional, but it serves as decoration. I usually don't have two-way bathrooms, but this one is big enough and I like the style of it. In the bedroom we have all the bookshelves. The portraits above the bed could be a royal couple, the ancestors of the sim living here. This massive border shouldn't be here. I'll fix it before uploading to the gallery. My ID is Rietta R. The tour is now over. Feel free to leave a comment about which style would you like to see under the letters E and F. I'm happy with the result. And I would be even happier if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Next time we will continue with the Zodiac Shell Challenge. Until then, thank you for watching, take care and be nice and kind to each other. Bye!